Good evening and a warm welcome to all for this webinar, What NEET 2025 Taught Us and How to Prepare Smarter. It's my pleasure to welcome Mr. Anurag Tiwari, our speaker for today's session. Anurag sir, a warm welcome to you.
Thank you so much, Al ma'am, and uh, I'm sure this session is going to be very insightful, and I'll be very happy to share all the insights and all the strategies, what is required for NEET and so on and so forth. Yeah, thank you. Hello, everyone.
A few lines of introduction about Anurag sir. Anurag sir is an academic leader with over 20 years of experience in preparing students for JEE and NEET. So from shaping top performers to now heading Sparkl's JEE and NEET division, Anurag sir brings both depth and clarity to test prep. And today he's here to share with us his insights on what this year's NEET taught us and how to plan smarter for 2026. I once again extend a warm welcome to you, sir, for this webinar.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Right now, as we are seeing more people are joining, I think it'll now be a good time to also get to know who our audience is today, so that we can also therefore focus accordingly. So if I can now request for the poll to be launched. So the audience, you will see two questions on your screen. You'll, just respond to that. Yeah. We will start this webinar today, which definitely, as Anurag sir has said, promises to be a very insightful and informative webinar. Now, if you are an aspirant who's hoping to appear for NEET in 2026, now this is one webinar that you definitely must watch. So I will quickly take you through the agenda points for today. What are we going to cover in this webinar? So key takeaways from NEET for 2025, what has been the trend, and therefore what have come out as some preparation gaps. What should you do now to look ahead when you're preparing for NEET 2026? How to stay on top of the curve? We'll also look at some subject-wise smart strategies for NEET 2026. We will particularly focus on physics because I think that was one area where a lot of surprises were thrown in this year's paper. And lastly, but not the least, we will talk about, is it time, therefore, to look at a slight change in our preparation approach? So we will talk about the personalized way to prepare, the personalized coaching and the power of personalized coaching to ace NEET. Yeah. So moving on now, we've already done the audience poll. We know we have an equal amount of students and parents. So moving to the question that is, I think, on top of mind, sir, in everybody's minds, that definitely this NEET 2025 was different. We hear of a lot of stories of students, parents being very distraught and upset. So, sir, what really changed in NEET 2025?
Yes, the problem what students have faced, what parents have experienced, definitely that shows NEET 2025 presented some interesting trends that deviated from previous years. And when I say previous years, I would like to emphasize on the question papers which have been asked in NEET, ranging from 2021 to 2024, right? So we can call it, COVID era question paper, or we can call it impact of COVID. And because of that, question paper were relatively easy. The question paper had some choices also, like 200 questions were given. Out of those 200, 180 questions are to be attempted. So those, some kind of relaxation or some relief had been given to students in those times. But 2025, first of all, they changed the trend, and the trend change was the 180 questions and 180 questions to be attempted. So 200 question, that flexibility has gone, right? The first thing is
right.
And second thing, the NEET 2025 paper has moved from memory-based, rote learning, formula-based questions to the new kind of questions which are of conceptual understanding, which are application based, which are testing the deep knowledge of students. And especially when you talk about physics, the question paper was asking a lot about mathematics, and not the mathematics which is quite linear in terms of understanding of students, but they tested a lot more than that. Now, if you compare the question paper of physics in 2024 and with 2025, you will be finding a significant difference. If you see in 2024, it was around 88% question paper which are of easy to moderate in physics in year 2024. And if you talk about 4th May 2025, it ranges from moderate to difficult more, that comprises around 70%.
Right.
So you can literally see here how the question paper of physics shifted from easy to moderate to moderate to difficult.
Moderate to difficult. Yes.
And this is not just the case, in terms of the physics question, or in terms of you can say the concept-based question, but you can say it is about mathematics as well. The kind of mathematics involved in the question are literally difficult, and the formula based question are quite invisible from the question paper. Questions were asked literally from the steps of derivation. So those students who have not been prepared themselves, looking at the 4 years trend, and they have not focused much on derivations, they were definitely at backstep. Right. So in this way, the physics has been I would not just say surprise, because for medical aspirants, physics has always been surprise, but catastrophic surprise, you can say, in this NEET 2025 paper.
Right. So let's look at the other subjects. I'm sure there was a similar pattern that was observed.
The chemistry is also having similar pattern. Chemistry was also conceptual, especially if you talk about physical and organic chemistry. And it has also, has shown the same trend, moderate to difficult kind of questions were there. The paper was not comprised more from the easier side. You can see here in 2024, it was 32% easy, but in easy segment, you could find only 22% in 2025, right? And especially organic chemistry, the questions which were there in organic chemistry, they were really testing the conceptual understanding of reaction mechanism in organic chemistry. And, reaction mechanism cannot be memorized. It is all, the concept based. It is all about the basic nuances of general organic chemistry. If you are pro in that, only then you can be able to solve the chemistry question paper over here. Right. So this was the chemistry in 2025.
So how was bio? Was bio the same as last year?
Biology has given some relief to students. Right? Because the easier question was a bit higher, but at the same time, difficult question was also a bit higher, but ultimately the segment which is moderate, that was actually making entire question paper towards easy moderate. However, having said that, let me tell you one important thing here. This year, the biology question paper was not out of NCERT, but it was testing you on the different question pattern, right? The different variety of questions, those were the things which were actually into the biology segment mostly, and it was testing the knowledge of a student in terms of attempting the type of question, maybe AR type question, maybe multiple statement type of question, that made biology a bit beyond what it used to be in last 4 years.
So I think what you're saying is that even in biology, the trend or the pattern changed slightly.
Slightly.
The people who were used to getting a set way of answering questions from NCERT, they would have been probably at a disadvantage if they had not practiced enough variety of questions.
Variety of question, that too different type of questions.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah. Although the question paper remained in the domain of NCERT, which was a big relief for the students.
So I think a quick recap till now, what we hear you say, sir, is that more or less all the papers across all the subjects, all the 3 subjects, the share of difficult questions were more. The paper was sort of bordering on moderate to high level difficulty this year across all the subjects. Now let's look at, I think you'll be happy to tell us more about the types of questions, because you had mentioned that the question type also made the paper difficult. So
Yes,
what is
yes.
your analysis there?
So, basically after analyzing the question paper, we could find six variety of or six types of questions asked in the exam, ranging from single choice MCQs to statement one and two type questions to multiple statement type question, assertion reason question, match the column and diagram based, right? So these are the varieties which used to be there in the previous year's question paper also. But since last 4 years, AR type questions were not being asked. And
Oh,
let me remind all the students and parents, AR type of questions were actually the legacy of AIMS, right? So AIMS
ah,
question paper, which used to happen till 2019,
okay,
that question paper was having assertion reason type of question. And these are the questions which really test your knowledge, not just knowledge, but conceptual deep understanding, right?
right,
So your logic, what put logic you put in to solve the question paper, that was getting tested over there. So this year, assertion reason type questions has been there in biology segment, especially 5 questions comprising of AR type, right? Which is why in a few minutes back, I told you biology paper was within the boundary of NCRT, but the variety or type of question which they have asked, that had made the question paper tougher. And on top of that, multiple statement type question. You
hmm,
can literally compare these type of questions with the variety of question which is already being asked in JEE advanced examination, where you have to solve some questions which are
hmm,
having more than one correct answers, right?
okay,
Here also you are given 4 5 questions of multiple with multiple statements, and you have to find which all statements are correct or incorrect. So you always get more than one option
correct,
to choose from,
hmm, hmm,
right? And whenever these kind of questions are coming up, you always have to have broader level of understanding. If you are solving one question, actually you are solving 4 5 question in one question, right?
right,
That
right.
makes the question paper even tougher and time consuming. The most
Yes, I was
important
coming
thing
to
is time
that,
consuming.
sir,
Yeah.
because such a complex question will also require more time. So then
Yes.
time management, whatever they would have strategized, might have also gone out of the window because of the paper of this nature.
True, true. And you see, these two segments comprise of 31 questions out of 180, right?
Right.
And that's a significant proportion. You cannot ignore it. It's a 15 17% already. And if
Of
you are,
course.
after getting such a physics paper, if you are getting 31 questions are of this type,
Right.
there is a essential struggle, right?
Right.
You can say.
So
But
now that, yeah, sorry, sir,
yeah,
please go.
so ultimately, the entire question paper was not just conceptual. The entire question paper was not just difficult in terms of physics, but it's a variety or type of questions with the kind of weightage they had put in over there. Apart from that, one important stuff which a paper cannot tell itself, but
Hmm.
the idea is if you are taking one section difficult, maybe
Right.
physics, right? That impacts other sections also because it is time bound question
Correct.
paper, right? So if you are even pro in physics, to attempt these 45 questions, you will be needing minimum 90 minutes, right? Even though when we were solving the question paper, our team was solving, they were also taking time. So if teachers are taking time, who
Yes.
are not having pressure of attempting the entire paper in the given 3 hours, if they are taking
Right.
time, you can think of what would have happened with the students out there in the examination environment. So if you are pro in physics, still to attempt 45 questions, you will be needing at least 90 minutes.
Right.
Then you are left with 90 minutes for 135,
Right. The
right?
remaining questions.
In chemistry and biology. So you would be needing, supersonic speed to attempt
Right.
those 135 questions in rest of the 90 minutes. So
Correct.
eventually pressure will build up. Eventually your calmness will go for a toss. And
Right.
ultimately the other sections will also be affected, which we can call a cascading effect.
Absolutely, absolutely. So, sir, now that we've seen what happened in this paper, we've analyzed the trends, we've seen how the students were completely, thrown with a paper that made all their strategy go out of the window. Now the question is, therefore, what are some of the things that they could have done? Now, can an
Hmm.
aspirant now stay ahead of the curve? how can they prepare for these kind of situations in their preparation? During their preparation, what are some of the things that they should do or should not do that keeps them in good stead for an eventuality like this? Because NEET, as you mentioned in the beginning, is always throwing up some kind of surprises or the other. Every year there is something or the other. Of course, this year it was very different. But yes, so how can students sort of prepare for any of eventuality of this nature?
Yeah. So before getting into that, one thing I would again like to highlight for all those students who have appeared in NEET 2025 paper, or those who have not appeared but they are planning to appear. Paper was difficult, but remember, this is not difficult for just one student. It
Right.
was difficult for everyone. And the beauty of any entrance exam, NEET or for that matter any other exam, it is relative performance what matters, not absolute. If paper was difficult, you are scoring low, that means other students will also be scoring low. So average
Right.
will go down eventually. And if
Right.
average goes down, the merit will go down. So
Cutoffs will be accordingly.
yes, cutoffs will also go down. So if you were, you wanted to score 700 out of 720 to get a good rank, and you could not do this time, but if you are scoring 640, 645 out of 720, believe you me, you will be standing at the same level. And ultimately, by the end of the day, nobody is going to ask you what marks you could score. They will be
Right.
asking what rank you have got, and according to rank, you will be getting into a medical college. So need
Right.
not to worry about that. If it is difficult, it is for everyone,
For
right?
everyone.
So
That's a very reassuring note, I'm sure, for everyone. They would very reassuring music to the ears. If it is difficult for all. That is true.
yeah, yeah. And if you are talking about preparation gaps, yes, you usually call it you're getting exposed, right, through these 3 hours of examination.
Right.
So obviously, it is full of learning, right? And after learning from the the NEET 25 question, it is imperative to modify your strategy to plug the gaps wherever you are. So the first thing which comes in mind is the rote learning. Since last 4 years, people, students, and even teachers kept on pushing. I could see there are many teachers I could see on social media from a lot of online videos. I could see students and teachers, everybody is into the rote learning and all. Let me tell you, that has gone for a toss. Your formula-based practice approach, rote learning will not work. Whether the question is being asked from the lines of NCRT, but you have to have the conceptual understanding. You have to have the approach to solve the question. And same goes with the formula-based question.
Right.
This year, formula-based questions were not there in the question paper. Mostly the questions were asked from the steps of derivation. The questions
Right.
were asked from the logical approach, and you have to put a formula in place,
So
looking at
required a
the
much
solution.
deeper understanding. Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. So you cannot rely on that. So next year's strategy should be literally very different. And if you are preparing for NEET on concept basis, on application basis, if in any case if question paper is there which is requiring a lot of rote learning, you will be able to even in any case solve that paper.
Right.
But if
Right.
your conceptual understanding is not there, and this
Then
kind
you
of
will
paper
not.
will appear, then
Yeah.
obviously you will be at the disadvantage,
Right.
right?
So clearly, rote learning as a formula will no longer work.
Yes.
They have to back it up with thorough, solid understanding of concepts to be able to handle any kind of questions.
True, true. And you know a lot of students, rather I would say, if you consider a sample of 100 students, 40-50 students are always afraid of lack of the content awareness, and because of that they keep on studying content, they keep on studying concepts, they keep on learning different areas of the chapters of different subjects. They keep on doing that. It is important, even though I don't deny, but at the same time, you cannot compromise on practicing the questions. If you are learning any concept, if you are reading any topic of the book, you always have to complement it with practicing adequate number of questions. If you are not practicing, then obviously you will be again exposed when the question paper will come in front of you, right? So studying the content and practicing the adequate number of questions literally becomes important. So those who would not have studied or would not have practiced adequate amount of questions on every topic, they would have they would have already felt the heat, right?
Right. So what you're saying is that just focusing only on mastering the concept and studying the content is not enough. It has never been enough. So practicing is very, very important, right?
Yes,
You will get
yes.
exposed to a lot of variety of questions by that way also.
True, true, true.
Okay.
And after practicing the question, there are two types of practice actually. One practice is self-paced. You are practicing at your own pace, which I talked about. And the second one is practicing the mock test, and that too in the simulated NEET conditions. When I say simulated, means the time-bound practice. First of all, if you are given 3 hours in NEET examination, you have to practice mock test in 3 hours of duration. That is time-bound.
Right.
And second important thing is presence of invigilator, right? Invigilator's presence puts a put your
Stress.
put yourself in a different domain actually, right?
True.
If nobody is there on your head watching you, you will be in different zone. That is called comfort zone, right? No matter whether it is time bound, you are putting a timer or not, right? But if an invigilator is there and she is watching on you, will be definitely in a different zone. And that zone is need to be practiced before you are appearing for NEET or for that matter any other kind of a competition examination. So that is the simulation required for you. Proctored testing, proctored mock testing is required to stay ahead and to make yourself very well acquainted with the examination environment.
Absolutely. So just to add to this, sir, you can sort of collaborate better. But I have seen and heard students actually take the mock test in that time zone or time period also when the NEET happens, because it happens in the afternoon. So
Yes.
it takes a lot to take a stressful test in the afternoon in people who are in the north of India. It's very hot, and wearing those conditions. So I think taking mock tests in that time, also sort of that is the kind of simulation I think that one is talking
Yes.
about.
This is also very important factor. And we always push our students to get themselves acquainted in this situation, in this time zone, at least 3 weeks before, at least 3 weeks before. So in last 3 weeks, they attempt 7 to 8 to 10 mock test papers in that situation, and that makes them habitual, and they don't find actual NEET examination a NEET examination. They find
Right.
that it is happening another mock test.
Right.
Yeah. Attempting the test paper is important, right? But I always say to my students, if you have attempted a question paper, a mock test, or any, for that matter, any question paper, that is 50% job done, right? Rest 50% remains awaited in terms of identifying what errors you have committed and why did you commit that, right? This shows you the real picture, what you have done. And to be honest with yourself, you need to analyze your errors, right? Not just analyzing the error, but putting the action items to fix those gaps is literally important, right? For example, if you are attempting a 45 questions of chemistry paper, 30 questions, let's say you have attempted correct, 10 questions you have attempted wrong, and 5 questions you skipped. So there are 15 questions where you need to literally work upon. And you can work when you are only honest with yourself. You ask, why did it go wrong? And if it says something that this is the reason why it did go wrong, then you ask yourself again, then what I can do for it, right? So analyze why did it go wrong, and then mention what can be done to remove such kind or to eradicate such kind of errors in the next question paper, next test, or in eventually NEET, right? If you are doing that practice, then you are fixing all the issues what you are finding in the question paper. And this should not happen once, but I'm telling you, this should happen from the beginning. Whenever you are attempting a test, show yourself a mirror. What was wrong and how can I fix it? Close the loop, and you will be finding yourself in different zone immediately in the next test.
Yeah.
That is
And
literally.
I'm sure many a times the kind of errors that will also come up will be a pattern, meaning silly mistake errors, wrongly reading a question. Those kind of errors can also come up. Then you can sort of take corrective measures to sort of not let those errors happen again.
Yes, and eventually you'll not be doing in the subsequent question papers. You have, if you have consciously
Correct.
accepted that yes, I have done it, and you have taken the corrective measure to eradicate it. Believe you
Correct.
me, in the next upcoming question papers, you will not be repeating those mistakes. And this is how you eradicate actually. Now, overnight, it is not going to happen. You have a wand and you just have, thrown it, and everything has happened in your as per your expectation. So this demands actually error analysis and the corrective measures after every test. Show yourself a mirror. This is the ultimate statement.
So it should be like a drill, a regimen that has to be followed, error analysis after
Correct.
every.
Absolutely, yes.
Got it.
And after you have done everything, you have prepared the content, you have practiced the questions, you have attempted mock test papers in simulated NEET conditions, you have done error analysis and corrective measures, but you have not prepared yourself with the right exam strategy. Then on D-Day, it will be again a big setback for you.
Right.
And most of the time it happens. Students come out of the NEET examination hall and they say, sir, I have thought of doing this way. I have thought of attempting the question paper in this way, but it could not work. That means your exam strategy was not very well curated. You were not prepared with what strategy you are going into the exam, and you were not being able to execute that at that moment. And this is also literally very important stuff, which even cannot be created in a day or two. You have to practice at least 6 months on different type of strategies, what is working for you, and for at least 15-20 question papers on different time interval, then you will be reaching to a certain strategy what works for you, right? And also, if you are trying to implement someone else's strategy in your way, let me tell you, it may not work, right? What strategy will work for you, that will always be defined and tested by yourself. And that took a longer period time, right? So if it took 6 months, you spend 6 months, right? And those who have appeared in 2025 examination and who will be scoring really good, they would always have tested their strategy, and they would always have, fixed on that path, and they would have implemented the same in NEET 2025. And this is how the exam preparedness, exam strategy preparedness works in real world, right?
Right. So I think the exam strategy bit will help students manage their time better, as you were hinting in the initial part of our conversation, that if people spend unrequired amount of time on a particular subject, then the time that they're essentially left for the other subjects goes down. So having a strategy that works for you individually and sticking to that, I think that is going to be a part of the plan for success in NEET.
Correct.
Okay, so before we come to the next part of this webinar, which is about starting early and when should you start, because I do hear a lot of questions in parents' minds and students, what is the right time to start? When should you start preparing early? So we'll come to that section. But before that, I would like to announce to all our attendees here that we have Anurag sir's team has solved the NEET 2025 question paper, and we have the detailed solutions available for you in a PDF, downloadable PDF format. The link for the same will be available to you on chat just now, and you can click on that link and download your free copy of the NEET UG 2025 solutions. So this is not just the key, but also the detailed solutions. So, sir, as I was referring to this question about when should one start, because there is also a view that sometimes starting too early can lead to a burnout, and you don't peak at the right time of the exam. You sort of peak a little prior to the exam, and then it doesn't work. So what, according to you, would be the right approach to answer this kind of a question of when should one start? And is it important to start early?
Yeah. Starting early for any competition exam maybe NEET or any other exam, is absolutely crucial. It gives you a time. It gives you a calmness. If it gives you, confidence in with the passage of time that you will be able to crack it, right? Those are the, qualitative thing. But let me prove that with the quantum, or, you can say the NEET deliverables, which is required for any student to, for that matter, to cover it up, right? So if you see in entire NEET journey, the total syllabus is defined in 80 total chapters, right? So 80 chapters are to be covered. This is NEET deliverable. This is for sure. Every student has to do it, because they would not be, they would not be definitely wanting to leave any area if they are preparing for NEET, because you don't know which all section will be dominating in which question paper and so on and so forth. So total 80 chapters you have to prepare for that. And to cover these 80 chapters, your teachers will be needing on an average 700 hours, right? This is basis ongoing practices, what we usually do. So 700 hours of teaching is required, and teaching on the board is just a job done by teacher, right? Student has to imbibe that, student have to absorb that, digest that. So for doing that, they need actually thrice number of hours of teaching to do their self-study. So 700 hours of teaching, then 2100 hours of self-study is required. And to become a pro on any topic, or, to have a good command to solve the NEET questions, you have to attempt at least 200 questions approximately in every chapter, right? On an average basis. So
Right.
for 80 chapters, 16,000 questions practice. This is bare minimum.
That
Right?
is a lot of questions. Yes.
Yes, there is a lot of question. So, but let me tell you, students who are scoring really good, they are 25,000, 30,000 questions. But 16,000 is the threshold. That threshold you have to cross. Only then you can say, I am a deserving candidate for a good rank in NEET and to get into a medical college, right?
Right.
So this is the NEET deliverable. And if you want to, capture all these 4 items, how much time have you got to do that? Actually, it does matter, right? Now, if you see, if you have got 1 year to prepare for NEET, right? So the deliverables will remain same. 80 chapters you have to cover. 700 hours of teaching would be required for teachers. 2100 hours of self-study is required. And 16,000 bare minimum questions are to be solved, right?
Right.
And if you have got 1 year to prepare, then imagine 4 days per week your teacher is teaching you, and that too for 42 weeks, because in 1 year, entire 52 weeks, you cannot be taught, right? You have to finish your syllabus well before, at least 10 weeks before. So 42 weeks are essential. So in 42 weeks, 4 days per week teaching, your teacher would be needing 4.2 hours of teaching per day. And in 52 weeks of your self-study hours, you will be needing 5.8 hours, approximately 6 hours per day of self-study for entire 52 weeks. And then if you have to solve 16,000 questions, 44 questions per day, you have to solve in entire 52 weeks per day, right? So this is the quantum what is needed in 1 year. And let me tell you, it's not unachievable. It's not unachievable. It is achievable, but it puts a lot of pressure onto the student.
Of course.
It shakes confidence of students if for a week, if they cannot, stick to the idea what is there, they will be, at disadvantage. They will not be able to, cope up with the gap what they would be creating. So it puts a lot of pressure, and they have to be always, so
driven and motivated to do this kind of a rigor.
Yeah, always. And they have to be really very consistent. And let me tell you, consistency is not a joke.
It is very difficult.
It is very difficult. It is very difficult, right? So it requires in 1 year. And vis-a-vis, if you see, if you have got 2 years to prepare for NEET, you will be relatively more calm. 80 chapters are still there. Teaching hours are still 700, but your teacher would be needing 3 hours per day. Self-study around 4 hours per day will work. You have to practice 30 questions a day on an average. If someday you could practice only 20, other day if you could practice 40, it will be compensated.
You are sorted.
And
so this looks more doable.
Yes. and that too in 77 weeks, right? So you are left with few more weeks. 25 weeks are again available for you to, cope up with anything which has been like a backlog or anything, right? So
Right.
in that way, you see, if you are starting early, let's say if you are moving to class 11th and you start from class 11th itself, you have got 2 years to prepare for NEET and you will be sorted, right?
Yeah.
And now if you are turning into 12th and then you are going to prepare for the NEET, you will be a bit of a disadvantage, but it doesn't
Right.
mean I'm saying it is not possible. There are plenty of students who do it, right?
Correct.
They are needing a great level of guidance, right? The mentor should be there to help them remain motivated, remain consistent, and whenever they are, finding themselves derailed, they are, getting,
Pulled back on track.
yeah,
Yeah.
pulled on the track. So these are the possible things, but yes, if you are having more time, it is going to help you. And even if you are starting from grade 9 or 10, right, you will be having another advantage. In initially, I'm not saying from grade 9 you should start solving the questions of NEET. I'm
Yeah.
not saying in grade 10 you are solving the question paper of NEET. But all I'm saying, if you are starting and thinking about NEET from grade 9 or grade 10, you will be more focused on conceptual clarity and building the foundation to have a smooth transition in grade 11.
Correct.
That will again help you in preparing NEET in a very smooth and calm manner. And if you are doing anything with calmness, your success is inevitable.
Absolutely, absolutely. I think starting in grade 8 and 9 or 9, 10, as some kids do, also has the advantage of helping you build that right temperament. So
Correct.
it exposes you early on to what it takes to have that, you see the goal that this is where I need to reach. And then you gradually build that temperament that you need, because these are competitive exams, are tough exams. You need to be, geared mentally to put in this kind of discipline and rigor that you have shown us here on these slides. So I think, yes, starting early definitely now seems to hold a lot of benefits and advantages for students who are actually very seriously considering cracking NEET or even JEE for that matter.
Correct.
All right, so I think now we can move to the section where we talk about, or we deep dive a little bit into some subject specific strategies, particularly after the NEET that happened in 2025. We will focus a little bit more on physics. We start with physics. So let's move on to the physics. What are some of the strategies that you would recommend?
Yeah. Obviously, you have got three subjects: physics, chemistry, and biology. These three subjects are having their own temperament. So each subject has its own challenges and requires tailored strategy, right? In physics, which obviously many NEET aspirants find challenging, the key is conceptual clarity. And before that, let me tell you a statement what as a teacher we keep on giving to the students, that mathematics is the language of physics, right? If you really want to be pro in physics, you have to have a command on mathematics. And
Right.
let me tell you an interesting fact. Mostly those students who are, taking bio, most of them want to be away from mathematics. But let me tell you, if you are getting into bio and if you are going to prepare for NEET, then you have to have your command on physics as well,
You
right?
can't
And
escape
yeah,
physics.
so to get into the physics, to solve the problems, you have to be pro in mathematics as well. Having said that, the mathematics is not required up to that level, which actually the actual engineering students, or you can say those students who are studying in PCM, those
Sure.
level of mathematics is not required. But yes, you have to have good command on algebra, vector, differentiation, integration, and trigonometry. At least these are the topics where you have to have a good command
Strong
up
hold.
to what it is required in physics, right? And as I told you in the question paper analysis as well, physics paper was not formula based. The numerical problems were demanding the understanding of derivations. The questions were asked from the middle steps of derivation. So instead of relying on memorizing formulae, you have to have, the ability to derive any formula. Your understanding on derivation of the formula should be really good. And ultimately, physics is physics. So just reading the books, doing the derivation is not going to help. That can help you in your board examination, in a school examination. But if you are going into the NEET segment, you have to have adequate practice on concept-based questions, application-based question, numerical questions, the questions which are having multiple concepts involved into one. Those are the questions which you have to definitely solve. As I said earlier also, 200 questions on an average per chapter to be practiced, covering variety of topics, right?
Right.
Although the quantum of question can vary from, basis the length and width of the chapter, rotational mechanics demanding more questions to be solved. At the same time, if you are into waves, relatively lesser number of questions will also work. But on an average, 200 questions are definitely
Per
required.
chapter.
This is threshold. And
Understood.
similarly, if you talk about chemistry, students should focus on conceptual understanding of organic and physical chemistry. But in all three segments, physical, inorganic, organic, NCERT remains the key. NCERT, you cannot leave NCERT in chemistry, right? This year, again, more than 95% questions were from the NCERT lines only, NCERT paragraphs only, NCERT tables. So you cannot skip NCERT, right? And if you talk about the conceptual understanding, then physical and organic chemistry, and especially this year in organic chemistry, reaction mechanism was very prominent, right? So reaction mechanism cannot be learned. It can be only understood. So rote learning will not help here again. And the third important thing is practicing theoretical and numerical based problems in physical chemistry. Physical chemistry has blend of both theory and numericals. And numericals also cannot be only formula based. So, depending upon the type of questions, they were also from the derivation steps as well. So understanding where from a formula is derived, that is again key in physical chemistry in line with physics. So this is how you can, prepare chemistry in just 3 points. This is the overall view.
Moving
In
to
biology,
biology.
yeah, biology again, NCERT is key. Biology also is being asked from the NCERT. More than 95% questions are from NCERT only. But the variety of question, the type of question, what we have seen in this year's question paper, that demands a deep understanding on solving the questions which are having multiple correct answers. That means multiple statement questions and assertion reason type of questions. Another thing is doing continuous revision. In biology segment, if you have learned one chapter 3 months back, right? And after 3 months, if you are not revising that chapter again, the things will be lost, right?
Right.
It will become history again. So you have to give attempt on revision intermittently, at least in 3 months gap, so that you do not forget what you have learned in biology. And this is the key to success in biology. Biology will help you in physics and chemistry as well. The question arises how? If you are being able to manage your time in solving the biology questions
Right.
in examination, you will be able to allocate more time to physics and chemistry, where you have to solve numerical problems, where you have to solve organic chemistry reactions, and so on and so forth. So you have to be really pro in solving the biology question as fast as possible. So developing speed and accuracy is important in biology to help physics and chemistry. So biology is going to help physics and chemistry, not conceptually, but in managing the time.
Yes.
So the important stuff in biology is to develop speed and accuracy while solving the problem. Right?
That's a very important point and very useful tip that you've given. All right. So now that we've understood the different subject-wise strategy that one can apply for these subjects for NEET, let us come to what exactly is the power of personalized coaching. And because of the way the NEET pattern was this year, I think a lot of students have probably gone back and realized that we could have done this better, we could have done that better. So some of those gaps probably could not get addressed. So personalized coaching, the way I understand it, sir, and you can please help, would be that I am taught individually. Is that correct? My needs and my learning is taken into account while I am in class only.
Yes, this is absolutely true. And as I said you in the last question, each subject has its own challenges and requires a tailored strategy. In the
Right.
same line, each student has its own challenges and each student requires a tailored strategy. Let me
Okay.
tell you, when it is about coaching, when it is about preparing for a competition exam and being coached, it needs a personalized plan.
Right.
At the same time, I do not undermine the peer group learning. I do not undermine the mass learning, which is definitely needed, but that requires in school, right? If you are in school, you should be always in group. You should always be there to learn the subjects and to develop holistically yourself, which is very
Right.
important. But when it comes to coaching, coaching should happen according to the need of a student, according to the learning pace of a student, according to the goal of a student, according
Ah,
to his her learning style, right? If you are not doing all those things, you will not be able to extract best out of the kid, right? So what I believe in personalization, every student has different level of understanding of different subjects, even at the level of topic, if you talk about. And if they are preparing for NEET, then destination remains same, right?
right.
But they are starting at different level. They are not at the same level, but their destination is same. If their destination is same, but they are starting from the different level, then their journey is going to be different. Like if you are having just basic understanding, or you are having even a challenge in prerequisite and you are preparing for NEET, then destination to crack the NEET is same, but your level is actually 1 that we rate with point below point 2.
Right.
And if you are having some prerequisite with you, but your understanding is not good at concept level, then you are at level 2. And so on and so forth in case of application level understanding, problem based understanding. And if you need only speed and accuracy, you are at different level, right?
Right.
And if you are at L5, definitely you have all the things covered. Just you have to develop speed and accuracy exam strategy to crack the NEET, right?
Right.
But if you are at prerequisite level, then you have to cover all these things. You have to have understanding of prerequisite, concept level understanding, application level understanding, problem based understanding, and then eventually you would be doing speed and accuracy thing. So
Right.
all the 5 level of students, if they are sitting in one batch of 50, 60 students, how can you imagine that they would be a level 1 or level 2, or even for that matter level 3 students will be able to reach to the destination of NEET? No, it is not possible. Which is why different set of students, even a particular student who is individual and preparing for NEET, they have to find where they are. And if they are not being able to find, they should take help of mentors, right? To assess themselves where they are. And once they find where they are, then their journeys should be designed, should be curated to reach the individual destinations, right?
And
So
it will be a uniquely crafted journey. It should be for
correct.
them.
Correct. For every level, it is gonna be different. And for
Correct.
even at every level, if let's say L3, there are 10 students, right? At L3, there are 10 students. So even for 10 students, the journey can be different because the 10 students are at
Learning
L3
styles
level,
will be
but their
different.
learning styles can be different. If
Yes.
learning style is different, then eventually you have to have a different journey to or different
Reach
method
the
to deliver the concepts so that you can learn, right?
right.
So which is why the tailored strategy is the thing which can be adopted for every student for sure short success.
Sure. Sure.
And there are so many roadblocks to success in NEET, which you can start from the high competition itself. See, 20 lakh students this year appeared in NEET examination. And out of those 20 lakh students, only 50,000 students will be able to make it to government medical college for MBBS. So less than 3% success. Isn't it challenging? Yes,
Right.
it is. And then if they are joining any other coaching where, the classrooms are overcrowded with 60, 80 students sitting in same class, most of the students are having their doubts unanswered, right? In those classrooms, the single approach is that what I am delivering, it is going to fit for all the 60, 70, 80 students. So one size
Right.
fits all approach. So obviously those students who are at L1, L2, L3, they will be at disadvantage. They will lag
They
behind,
lag behind.
right? Personalized strategy are there. Yes, of course, it is there. But for this is available for only 1 or 2% of students who are at the top layer, right? And those who are not actually needing that personalization. Personalization is needed by the students who are at level 1, level 2, level 3, but they are
Right.
always being overlooked, right? Real-time performance tracking. If a student is at level 2 or level 3, they literally need real-time performance tracking and intervention. And that doesn't happen over there if you are in a bunch of students where one size fits all approach is being driven. Schedule is important, discipline is important, but it cannot be so rigid that everyone has to follow the same thing. It's not army thing, right? Here everyone's destination is same, but journey is going to be different. Discipline is required, but rigidity will again put a lot of pressure on the student, stress on the student.
Right.
And
Right.
there are so many students who relocate themselves from their home ground. They go to different big cities, maybe Kota, Delhi, or anywhere else. That again puts additional pressure onto the student, and that too time wastage and a lot of additional issues which
Right.
any student can face over there. So these are the
Right.
biggest roadblocks to success,
Right.
right?
Right. So now let's come to Sparkl, and therefore, what is the solution that Sparkl offers which can hope to address some of these concerns through the personalized approach?
Yes, see, Sparkle is actually in a different league, let me tell you, right? I have been in this coaching industry for last 17, 18 years at least. And after these many years, I could see how 3-4% of success, in the crowd of 22 lakh students, I could sense there were many students who could have done that, but because of a personalized approach, they fail to crack NEET, or they fail to get into a medical college, right? So at Sparkle, we have cracked this problem through personalized learning. We are providing live one-on-one session, and sometimes for a group of 4 students maximum, small group, with expert faculty who are pro to prepare students for NEET and for other entrance examinations as well. And that too with the state-of-art technology powered by AI and adaptive to students' pace and learning style. So this is what in one way, in one statement, the Sparkle is providing is actually the personalized learning, and learning has been made personal at Sparkle, right? The faculties, the teachers who are here at Sparkle, they are really qualified, well trained. They have produced results in past, and they have a proven track record of success in JEE and NEET. So they are always going to get top mentors over here. According to the requirement of any student, where they are in any particular topic, they can start doing their adaptive practice, and they can start building their foundation, and then move on to concept-based questions, and then move on to the advanced level questions. So that adaptive practice helps students, and which I really really give a weightage on is actually invigilation part. Being edtech, the thing what we are actually into is proctor testing, right? Proctor testing is one of the most important thing what we put in place for students to see the simulation with any other examination, what will happen in due course of time, maybe NEET or JEE. The beauty with Sparkle is synchronization with the school curriculum. Mostly students face a challenge. School is having some other subject going on in the
Right.
class. Coaching is teaching some other topic, right?
Right.
And if chapter and topic differences are there, the students feel a lot of pressure. They feel
Right.
overburdened. But here we have that capability, and we always try to sync, or not just try, exactly sync with the school chapter topic, so that the students are studying the same chapter, same topic what they are studying in school and here at Sparkle. So that synchronization actually puts a student at lot of advantage. They manage time really well, their conceptual understanding, their ability to retain the knowledge, that enhances like anything. So
Yes,
that
I can imagine, because what is happening in school, if that is what is happening at Sparkle, similar topics, same topics, then it is reinforcing learning in both ways. And I think
yes,
Sparkle is able to probably do that also because it is a personalized, it is tailored to that particular student's or a group, small group of students'
yes,
needs.
yes. Absolutely, yes. Yes, since I told you the Sparkle is having a state-of-art technology and AI integration in every aspects of learning and the behavioral pattern of students. So AI-driven analytics and feedback are giving students a real-time mirror what they are actually as of now and what they need to do. So obviously, whatever exam a student is focusing on, we are being able to provide strategies to students so that they can manage time really well, they can handle stress, and our mental well-being sessions are additional on top of the regular academic sessions, which are helping our students. The printed textbooks, it is again a beauty of Sparkle. Printed textbooks are not same for every student.
Oh, okay.
Standard, yes. The NEET standard is maintained for every student, or for that matter in JEE. Standard is maintained, but at the same time, basis the learning style and basis the learning pace, basis the level of student, additional content is being given to students in their textbook itself.
Oh, I see.
That customizes really well, and it is getting designed for each and every student. If you are Payal, then Payal is having a different set of books from any other student, right? Having the core intact, but according to Payal's efficacy, according to Payal's learning style, the books are customized.
Customized to every student. Wow,
Yes,
that seems very powerful, I think. Yeah.
yes, true. We have instant doubt resolution via app. If any student is having any doubt, they can immediately put on chat, and our teachers are already available on chat, and they can clear their doubts. Even we have a seamless integration of our chat portal in our teaching portal as well. If any question teacher wants to pull out of the chat in the live classroom, they can pull out and they can discuss in live classroom as well. So seamless integration in every aspect of learning is there at Sparkle. And uh, a very unique thing what I can vouch for, actually, Note Vision camera. Note Vision camera is seamlessly integrated in our teaching portal, right? So what it is, let me tell you a bit about Note Vision camera. Note Vision camera is a simple device which is given to our students at the time of admission. And while attending our classes, Note Vision camera is connected to the laptop all the way, all the time. So whatever teacher is teaching, student is writing his notebook. If a question is being thrown by the teacher in the class, student is solving the question in their notebook. Then whatever student is writing on the notebook, that is being scanned by the Note Vision camera and live fed to the teacher's screen. So a teacher can see what is happening in the notebook of a student. If a
Oh,
student is
wow.
solving a problem, and if
Hmm.
at any step, if a student is doing any step wrong, teacher can immediately correct them. No, this is not how it is to be done. Let me tell you how it is gonna be, right?
Right.
So
So
this
it
gives
is
a
not passively the child is online and passively writing something. The teacher is actually equally engaged and involved.
equally engaged, and that gives a feeling that a teacher is sitting besides me and correcting me in my copy. So
Got
this
it.
gives you a virtual presence of teacher then and
Yeah.
there wherever as a student you are studying, right? And this makes these live classes very engaging, right? Parents were always we have seen the COVID era, we have seen the
Right.
rise of edtech at that moment, and
Right.
the biggest complaint was my kid is not getting engaged in online learning. We
Ah.
have solved that problem through
Hmm.
one-on-one learning and with the help of Note Vision camera. What a student is doing in his notebook, whether they are making a note, making some notes or not, everything is being captured. This is the
Right.
beauty of technology at Sparkle, right?
Right.
And obviously, you are learning from home, so no travel hassle. You need not to go anywhere. You just remain calm at home and and learn whatever you want and reach to your destination.
Right. So, sir, I have to admit, although I have not been a science student, but this is all making it seem so easy and doable that I can sit at home, get access to the best teachers. I don't have to worry about traveling. almost want to be able to sort of crack a competitive exam like NEET. If only this was there at my time. This seems very easy and doable now.
This is what we have targeted for actually.
Wonderful, wonderful. So I would like to now say a word to the audience or to all our the participants. If you want to get closer to your dream career of medicine, do scan the QR code that you will see on your screen right now, and you can register for your first free trial class on the Sparkl platform that Anurag sir talked about. So the code is visible on the screen. You can scan it and you can sort of register for the first free trial class on Sparkl platform. So if you are exploring NEET as a career, or if you are appearing for NEET in 2026, please go ahead and scan this and take that first step towards your dream career. I think this has been a very, very engaging, insightful, so much to learn kind of a session. I truly thank you, sir. I think it's now time for us to take some questions. So I have here some questions that I've received, where this student who is saying that I gave both my class 12 boards and NEET this year and got around 350. I'm wondering, should I take a drop and try again next year? Can I really improve enough to get an MBBS seat if I scored just 350?
Quite a lot of students must be having this dilemma, right? Answer that.
Yeah.
If you are literally passionate about career in medicine, you just go ahead. Because, if average life is 60 years, let me put it that way. If average life is 60 years, and you are at 16 or 17 years of your age, and if you need to put one more year to be happy in rest of your life up to 60 years, go ahead and invest that, right? The first thing is that. If you are really passionate about medicine. Second thing, if you have scored 350, let me tell you a fact. If you have scored 350, 250 marks or 275 marks is easily more achievable in NEET if you are taking a drop. So if you are at 350 and you score 250 more, you will be definitely reaching to 600, right? But be aware of the fact that you have to be really consistent for entire 1 year. You have to put in the right time and strategy. You have to be consistent, and you should be guided by the right mentors, right? So this is literally very, very important stuff. Yeah.
Right, right. I'll take another question. In the meanwhile, I'll also like to tell the audience that if you have any questions right now, you can use the chat to ask the questions to the panelists. We'll be happy to take them. In the meanwhile, I'll take the next question, sir. This is again from another student who is in grade 11 with PCB, hasn't started NEET preparation yet, and is a bit nervous about managing school and NEET coaching together. Will I be able to do it?
So yes, he's in grade 11 or 12. What did you say?
Grade 11.
Grade 11, right? So it's a very right time. If you are in grade 11, definitely you can start off, and you will be getting 2 years. And I just mentioned that in 2 years journey, it is gonna be really very calm and it will be very consistent. So you'll be able to do that. First thing is first. Second thing, managing school and NEET together while you are in grade 11 is very much doable, right? And mostly students who crack NEET, they prepare school and NEET together from grade 11. Let me tell you statistically, right? So it has always been seen the students who are cracking NEET, they start from grade 11 up to grade 12. They get 2 years and they really manage well. Basarte, one thing you have to remember, if you are syncing in your coaching with the school curriculum, it will be additional help to you, right? If school is teaching something else, coaching is teaching something else, then it may create some problem in balancing the school and coaching, right? But at the same time, if you focus on school topics, school chapters and coaching chapters at the same time, it will be very easy for you to do that.
Okay, so we have a question from Yoganand, who is saying, is the same standard of the question paper are we going to expect in NEET 2026? only 1 year left now. I'm class 12 going.
Yeah.
So I think he'll be going to class 12. He has 1 year to prepare. And yeah, that's his question.
No one can expect that, and no one can give a future prediction on that.
Right.
But let me tell you, in 2025, the question paper which was asked this year, it was a bit of replica of 2016 question paper, right? So
Good.
if you are pro with the last 10 years question paper, you can expect any of the year get repeated in 2026, right? It is very much
Okay.
possible, but no one can predict that what has happened in 2025 that may be there. but
Sure.
but as
Sure.
a aspirant, you have to be prepared for all eventualities, right?
Right.
So last 10 years are good enough.
Okay. Okay. We have another question here, which is saying, okay, I'm doing okay in bio and chemistry, but physics is a real struggle. What should I do to improve in physics and not fall behind? I think this will be a common concern of most students now.
Yes, yes, it's a common concern. Let me tell you, if you are falling back in physics, you definitely have to strategize, and you definitely have to put more time into physics, and you have to be mentored differently in physics as compared to bio, or for that matter in chemistry. If you are taking your physics journey in a different way according to your strength and weaknesses, you will be definitely able to do that. But for that, you have to get into the personalized way of learning, personalized strategy, a tailored plan according to your level of understanding, right? This is how you can do definitely physics as well. You need not to be worried about that. You have got at least 11 months more to
Right,
prepare for physics, and it is doable.
right,
Don't worry.
right. Okay, I have a question from this student, S. Verma is the name, who's saying that I was a student of a coaching institute in 2024. He got 625, and then in 2025, he got anxiety. Now, what to do? I want to be doctor. So I think it is pertaining to his anxiety. And so now he still holds dear the dream of becoming a doctor. So what advice would you give him, sir?
So, in 2025, you have become anxious, and because of that, if you could not attempt the paper right, that may happen with some of the students, because it's all about the examination temperament. How did you take that exam environment? That definitely matters. But if you really want to become a doctor, you set by yourself, you should not be falling behind. You should give another shot and see what has gone wrong in the exam, and for that matter, before the exam, just before the exam. So you just think of that, you find it out, and then you start improving on that. And wherever you have fallen prey to anxiety, you just speak to your mentor or speak to your friends what has gone wrong, and then seek solution from the right people, not from everyone, but from the right people.
Right,
And
right.
you will get to know what is not to be repeated in the next year, and your anxiety will be definitely away in the next year. I wish you all the best. If you really want to become doctor, you can do it, I'm sure.
Absolutely, absolutely. I have one question here which says, I have joined a coaching and my class has 60 students. Some students are already way ahead. I never really get to ask my doubt. I'm losing confidence. It is very stressful. What should I do?
This is the common problem of 80% people who are studying in those batches, right?
Right, right,
So yeah, you definitely need to understand yourself first. What do you want, right? And then see what is happening in your class. There are two options. Either you being in the class of 60 students, you become visible in the class, right? And to be visible, you have to come forward. You have to be interactive with your teacher, but at the
right,
same time, your teacher also need to give some weightage among the 60 students. The first thing is this. Second thing is, if you are finding yourself uncomfortable, don't waste any more time. Go with your teacher, right mentor, who can help you basis your level of understanding, basis your preparedness, and they can chart out a different journey for your dream to be taken care of, right? So this is another way to do that. Don't waste your much of time over there in the crowd of 60 students. understand yourself.
Right. So there is this question, and I think after this we probably take just one more question because we already overshot our time of till 5 p.m. But I think the questions are pouring in, so I'll just take two more questions. It's the second last one. This is a question from a student of a state board. So he's saying, "Sir, I'm a state board student this year, entered 11th standard. So please, can you give a roadmap till NEET exam for state board student?"
So the important thing is which state board you are in, right?
Okay.
So if you talk about in today's scenario, various state boards are having quite simulated the textbooks in line with NCERT, right? NCERT and state board textbooks are quite similar. There are as such no much difference, right? So if you are studying in state board, at the same time, if you are going through the NEET question papers of last 10 years, and you are charting out what all topics and concepts are in line with your textbook and what all not. And let me tell you, you would not be finding more than 10% questions out of your state board textbook if you are of a very different state board that is away from the NCERT even. You would not be finding so much difference. So your alignment with the previous 10 years of NEET question paper is more important than what textbook you are studying. Because in 11th and 12th, more or less, most of the state board content is mostly, synchronized with NCERT. Maybe some chapter sequence are different in some of the state boards. Even in some state boards, the chapter sequence are also same as of NCERT. But in some state boards, it is different, right? But chapter sequence difference doesn't matter. Matter is actually whether the content is very light or very heavy, right? And that is not gonna be there in any state board examination.
Okay. So hope you've got your answer there. One last question and then we'll call it a wrap, sir. This question is from Megha and she's asking about the supposed cutoff for NEET 2025.
Yes, that's a very relevant question. See, depending upon the category you are in, the cutoff for different states is definitely going to be low. And for different states, it is going to be different. But you can imagine 40 to 50 marks lower, at least 40 to 50 marks lower than last year for every category. In terms of getting into the medical college, there are two types of NEET cutoff. One is for being eligible for the counseling, and other cutoff is getting into the medical college. So depending upon the distribution of questions in terms of easy, moderate, and difficult, we are having an approximation that 40 to 50 marks would be lower required for getting into a medical college for any of the quota or in any state.
All right. So there you have the answer for the cutoff. And I think we will, that was the last question, and we will sort of like to thank all our participants today. And I'd like to thank.
One question I would like to take here, I could see here,
Sure.
Mr. Yoganand is asking whether this system is online, offline, or so Mr. Verma is asking, it's a online, offline, or both? It's a online. Let me clarify, which students can opt sitting at home, right? This is in online mode.
All right. Okay, so thank you so much, Anurag sir, for your valuable inputs, insights. It was very, very detailed, and I hope everyone who attended today's webinar has gone back with very powerful tips and strategy for NEET 2026. You know now how to do and how to put your best foot forward for NEET 2026. I'd like to thank you all once again.
Pleasure is all mine. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining us.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.